I am Temujin.
Genghis Khan.
I came from nothing. My father got poisoned. My own tribe left me to die in the dirt when I was just a kid. And I still built the biggest empire this world has ever seen. Not by asking nicely, by breaking everything that stood in my way, until there was only my name left. You want the real story? Then shut up and listen. I don't do pretty versions. My army didn't need your soft little supply lines. Every single warrior rode with 3 to 5 horses. We moved like ghosts. You tried to run. We were already behind you. You tried to fight back. Our arrows turned your men into corpses, before most of them even drew their swords. That's how fast we were. And if one of my soldiers turned and ran without my order, his whole group of 10 died with him, right there on the spot. That's how you make an army that doesn't know fear. That's how you win. When the Khwarezm Empire killed my ambassadors like we were nothing, they made the biggest mistake of their lives. I sent 200,000 men into their lands, like a fucking plague. Otrar was the first city to feel it. We didn't capture it. We erased it, burned it to the ground, butchered every man, woman, and child inside, until nothing was left breathing. That's how you answer disrespect. But Otrar was just the warm-up. Bukhara thought surrendering would save them. It didn't. We dragged their scholars through the dirt, looted every treasure they had, and turned their holy places into slaughterhouses. We made sure the survivors understood one thing clearly: stand against me, and your entire world burns. Then came Samarkand. They actually tried to resist, so we forced their own people to march in front of our army as human shields. When the city finally fell, we didn't stop at killing soldiers. We stacked their skulls into towers, so tall you could see them from miles away. We left their fields, soaked in blood, and destroyed irrigation systems that had existed for centuries. We wanted the land itself to remember who won. You think that was the end of it. I was just getting started. Baghdad called itself the center of the world. All those arrogant scholars, all that so-called knowledge, all that pride. My grandson Hulagu brought the army, and we choked the city until it couldn't breathe anymore. When the walls broke, we went in. And we didn't hold back. We killed until our arms got tired. Old men, women, children, holy men. None of them were spared. We threw so many of their precious books into the Tigris that the river ran black with ink. Centuries of wisdom wiped out in one night because they thought they were better than us. They weren't. Europe was next. Those fancy knights with their shiny armor and big stone castles. They had no idea what real war looked like. At Liegnitz, we played with them. We let them think they were winning. Then we closed the trap and slaughtered them like animals. They broke fast. We could have kept riding straight into the heart of Europe and finished the job. But after I was gone, my sons started fighting over power, so we turned back. Europe got lucky that day. Very lucky. Here's the part most people don't want to admit. After all the burning, all the killing, all the cities we turned to ash, something strange happened. The roads I carved across the world actually made trade easier than ever before. Merchants could move from China to Europe without getting robbed every 10 miles. We called it Pax Mongolica, peace. Built on top of 60 million dead bodies. Gunpowder printing ideas. They all started flowing west because of what I created, whether the world likes it or not. I connected everything, but even I couldn't stop what came next. The same roads that made my empire rich carried something else with them. The Black Death. It tore through my people like fire through dry grass. Killed my soldiers, killed my nobles, killed everything it touched. By the time it was finished, the empire I built with my own 2 hands started falling apart. China threw us out in 1368. The rest of it broke into pieces, fighting over scraps. 60 million people dead because of what I started. That's the real number, not the clean version you read in books. 60 million bodies, and I'd do every single bit of it again. I took tribes that were nothing and turned them into rulers of the world. I didn't ask for permission. I didn't play by anyone else's rules. I broke every city that said no, and I made the ones that said yes Watch what happens to people who resist me. You're sitting there right now, comfortable, watching this through a screen, calling me a monster. Maybe I was. But monsters are the ones who actually build empires. Cowards just write about them later and pretend they would have done things differently. So tell me, if you had the same choice I did, stay small. Stay safe. Stay nothing. Or burn the world to become a legend. What would you have done? Be honest with yourself. You already know the answer. You just don't have the stomach to say it out loud. You think after I was gone, everything stayed the way I built it. You're even dumber than I thought. My sons started tearing the empire apart before my corpse was cold. They split what I created with blood and fire into 4 pieces like children fighting over scraps. The Golden Horde, the Ilkhamate, the Chagatai. In the UN, in China, they all carried my blood, but none of them had what I had. They were soft. They argued over land and titles, while the real enemy was already moving toward them. And that enemy didn't carry swords. It came on the same roads I had carved open. The same roads that made merchants rich and trade flow from one end of the world to the other. Those roads became highways for death. The Black Death didn't knock on gates or ask for surrender. It just arrived. Silent, merciless, and unstoppable. It started in the east and rolled through everything I had conquered. My soldiers, the same men who had broken cities and stacked skulls, dropped like flies. They bled from their mouths. Their armpits swelled until they burst. Their bodies turned black and rotted while they were still breathing. Whole camps turned into graveyards overnight. My descendants watched their armies melt away, and there was nothing they could do. No arrows. No horses. No tactics could stop it. Cities that had survived my conquests fell in weeks. Entire populations vanished. The same people I had broken and ruled over died screaming in their homes, while their leaders hid behind walls that meant nothing. The plague didn't care who was Mongol and who wasn't. It killed everyone it touched, my bloodline included, by the time it finished its work. The empire I had built was already dying from the inside. China rose up and threw the yuan out in 1368. My descendants were driven back to the steppes like dogs. The rest of the empire fractured and ate itself alive, fighting over what was left. 60 million people. That's the real price of what I created. Not just the ones I slaughtered with my own hands, but the ones who died because I opened the world too wide. The plague finished the job I started, and I don't regret a single fucking thing. You sit there now, hundreds of years later, and call me a monster. A tyrant. A butcher who went too far. Good. I'd rather be remembered as a monster than forgotten as another weak man who died in the dirt. I took scattered tribes and turned them into the most feared force this world has ever seen. I broke kings. I erased cities. I stacked human skulls into monuments so the world would never forget who won. And even after everything collapsed, even after the plague ate what was left of my empire, you're still saying my name. That's power. That's what legacy actually looks like. So go ahead and judge me from your safe little time. Say I was evil. Say I was cruel. Say I should have stopped. But when you look at the roads that still connect east and west, when you see how ideas and trade still move across the same paths I forced open, just remember who actually made it happen. I didn't wait for permission. I didn't ask nicely. I took the world in my hands and I reshaped it with fire, blood, and death. So tell me, if you had my power, would you have done the same? Or would you have stayed small and died forgotten like the rest? Be honest. You already know the answer. You just don't have the balls to say it.